was I looked at the sequence that the researchers in China provided, the NIH, that's posted actually on Wikipedia, and anyone could click that link and go to the actual database and look at the actual genomic sequence. So with my knowledge in genomics, what I did was I did a blast, what is called a blast search, and I compared that sequence to other organisms to see what type of homology, what type of this RNA is an RNA virus. So what type of organisms have a high similarity sequence? So when I did that, about 20 or so organisms popped up, and they all were bat SARS. So basically, through this, and I did a video that people can watch, but and I show exactly how to do the blast search on this website. So what it shows, and I might be able to share some pictures. I can try, but basically what it shows is that the Wuhan virus, or this novel coronavirus, which is a family of viruses, has very high homology to the bat SARS virus. And I have a theory that this potential strain of coronavirus is a mixture of about 4 of the bat SARS viruses, where it makes it more virulent, where they're in the genome. It's about a 30,000 base pair genome, okay? And the first half of the genome deals with replication, which is called replicase. It codes for a protein that replicates the RNA and helps to produce some of the early proteins it needs. And near the end of the genome is called the S protein, and that is the surface coating that hooks onto tissue when it's infecting a host. So when someone breathes in that virus, that S protein is hooking on to a receptor that's in the lung, and it allows that virus to get into the cell and start to replicate. So I did. Anyone could do this.
Dr. Paul, for those that are wondering, let me just break it down in layman's terms. What it appears to be like, if you go look at the database, is that if you look at all of the existing bat SARS varieties of viruses that are known, that the novel variety that is now the Wuhan virus, it actually appears to be all of those combined, where in the past, the other varieties weren't as infectious or didn't spread as easy, and so on and so forth. This Wuhan novel variety appears to be all of the bat varieties potentially combined, which is a rarity in virology, unless, of course, it was somehow manufactured, and I think that's what he's getting to. And I just wanted to jump in that before you go on, Rex, that our insider just told us, who's over there, that there is some more extreme lockdowns, higher death rates, and higher infection rates than are actually being reported for a number of reasons that we might get to later in the podcast. But that was just my piece.
I'd just like to add the probability. I also did a video on the probability of this happening through just natural selection in a natural environment. And it's a low probability for these big chunks to just randomly appear in the front of the genome and in the back of the genome on areas that make this virus really susceptible to increased infection. it's focusing on the replication side, and it's focusing on the attachment to
sugar,
cellular receptors in our body.
All done,
so
teeth.
It seems to me that this virus was it evolved, and it was taken from bat SARS, which I can actually give you the number. I think the virus that evolved from was a KF294457.1. This is the name of that actual genome code, and that evolved, maybe naturally, maybe not, and that evolved into a strand that was very similar to an MG strand. So when someone does this blast list, they can see the two MG strands, which are a more virulent bat SARS. And to me, it seems as though it was possible that
on his keyboard,
individuals or an individual took big chunks of virulent sections of previous bat SARS viruses and put it into this Wuhan strain. And when you do the probability of this just naturally happening and being by a weapons lab 20 miles away, it's a very low probability, very, very low probability. So it's kind of lends itself to thinking, well, you know what, this might be a leak from a weapons lab or a research lab. I'm not saying that means that it was done nefariously, but this is a potential problem, and this as it spreads and people get sicker, other components of society will start to break down. The economics, the infrastructure. We're already seeing the financial markets showing some problems, especially in travel, in the oil market. The S&P 500, went down today. The luxury brands have been selling off. We're also hearing that medical supplies are starting to run out. If you're treating just one patient and you have a whole staff of, let's say, 15 doctors and nurses that are treating this one patient, every time that they go in and out of that room, they have to declothe, and that material needs to be incinerated. They can't be reused. So they're going to run out of masks. They're going to be running out of gowns. They're going to be running out of goggles and stuff like this. And a lot of the manufacturing of these products are made in China. So if there is a worldwide contagion that takes place, we will not have the means to be able to curtail it.
And let me jump off